One of our leading lights, Brandon Stone, has enjoyed being back home, and it gave us a chance to catch up with the man whose latest win came at Leopard Creek last December.
It's been good. It's been I've managed it a little bit better than I did after the SA Open. I've tried to manage myself a little bit more, in saying that I have played more tournaments this year than I did last year. But it's been a lot of fun. Managed to get into the US Open and the British Open, which was quite special, and then I've got the PGA coming out, which is also really, really something to look forward to. The season's been good so far. I think we almost 8 months into it, and it's been okay. I think there's some results I would have liked a little bit better than I have had, but looking forward, game feeling really good, and the mind's going to have a good refreshing break after the PGA and get ready for that last little quarter of the season.
The 24-year-olds often seem to have a maturity which belied his years. He's certainly got a great appreciation of what he's achieved.
Golf is so unique, and there's such a fine margin between winning and losing, from being on the Big Easy Tour in South Africa and to being the PGA Tour in the States. It really is like that. I mean, for instance, with me, I was ranked 16th on the Challenge Tour going into the final event. I got my tour card by one shot. We worked it out. It was one shot over an entire season that I get my card from. Second event of the year, I win. And off you go. Your career is launched. I mean, co-sanctioned event in South Africa, SA Open. I mean, boyhood tournament to win. Managed to get it. So now you're, wow, the whole year, you don't have to worry about exemptions. You don't need to worry about keeping your card for 2 years. You don't have to worry, all these things, you just get this level of calm over you. And then you start playing nicely. Once you get that freedom, you play nicely here and there. And then last season, I struggled towards the end of the year, especially after the long season, and then sat down with my psychologist there, Besadenhout, at Cape Town Open. I said, listen, I feel like I'm struggling. She goes, well, you've got 2 events. Take it easy, relax a little bit, and end up winning Daniel. It's amazing. The moment that tension just starts building and it releases, you just play with such freedom, such ease. The game feels easier, and I feel like I'm getting there again. I'm very, very eager for the next stint of events, I must say.
Brandon's fresh off finishing runner-up at Highland Gate, his best result of the year after 4th at the Joburg Open. There is work to be done, though it's not a statistical approach that he's looking at.
I think my father and the coaching team are more the stats guys than me. I do look at them, I do analyse them, and especially like after the stint, what was lacking, what can I work on when I'm on holiday, that kind of stuff I do. But from week in, week out, I take it over a longer stint of tournaments than an actual just 1 week. Okay, cool, well this week you average 62% of the fairways, you need to work on your driving. Well, the week before I averaged 85, and the fairways at the British Open are 18 yards wide, and there's a 35-kilometre wind from the left, so it's not going to be the easiest fairway to hit. You can't start panicking about the stats. I mean, you know, as a professional golfer or a highly skilled amateur golfer where you struggle. If you feel like you are a bad putter, you will work on your putting. If you feel like your chipping needs some work, you'll work on your chipping. If you've lost 5 golf balls in the opening 9 holes of a tournament, you need to work on your long game. It's not a rocket science to figure it out.
He's figuring out what works for him and what improvements are next to be made. So is there anything that sets him apart from his countrymen who are making their way in the game?
I always get asked this by a few of my friends who are out here, and they ask me what's the difference between the guys, and there really isn't that much. I think there's so many great players on this tour, but I think it's very tough economically for guys in Sunshine Tour to actually break through to Europe. I think the moment that you go out for dinner for your first week out in Europe and you realize that you're paying €3 at Coca-Cola, and you're like, oh, 3 years, oh, that's actually $50. It plays on your mind a little bit. For instance, one of my close friends said he's thinking about going to tour school at the end of the year, and he said, what would be my recommendation? So I said, well, if you're gonna go, the first thing I would do is try and find a sponsor before then. You go to the guy and you say, listen, I want to go to tour school. It's going to cost me a lot, but if I get my card, it's going to cost me even more. So what I'm offering you is to fund me to go to tour school, and then whatever I make the following year, you cover my expenses. Whatever I make, you keep 60% and I'll keep 40%. Because a lot of players, the moment that they start to percentage detail, they start going, well, I'm not going to give him 60% of my earnings. But you need to realize that that sponsor or that financial backer is taking a hell of a risk on you. I mean, there's how many millions of golfers around the world, and he must fund one particular one on an investment. I mean, you wouldn't do that if you were a stockbroker. So why you have to convince him from a share point of view why you are a better asset to invest in than Google or YouTube or Bing or whatever or Amazon. It's simple business for them. You need to have that finances situation 100% sorted before you get on a plane and leave the shores of South Africa, honestly. And I know it sounds difficult, but it is possible. Guys have done it before, and guys are going to do it in future times. So it's going to be interesting to see who takes that risk and who can find that investment.
Wise words about finances, but it's still about the sport, not the money.
You could always have the debate over trophies over cash, honestly, and you could have probably a good defense for both sides, but you're not going to wake up in the morning, okay, cool, my goal today is make 100,000 rand. You're not going to have the passion, you're not going to have the drive. You want to have your name on trophies. You want to be standing up on the podium or wherever it may be on a Sunday afternoon. You want to clean your locker out last. It's those kinds of things that wake you up when you're a 14-year-old boy. When you're 12 years old and you're going to play a Gauteng North Junior event at 6:15, you're not thinking about the possible $1 million tournament that you could be playing in 10 years' time. All you want to do is win C Division at the Gauteng North Junior tournament. And that's the way that it needs to be. It's the way that golf needs to be taken in. It's obviously a tough game that we do and a tough profession. If it wasn't, everyone would do it. I love it. It's a constant gamble. It's a constant thrill ride, it must be said. You can go from feeling like Tiger Woods one week to feeling like Norman Woods in the next week. So it's the only thing that can create that fire in my belly and that passion. And it's the reason why I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to train and to be able to cover my costs and to live the life that I do and to do the thing that I love, which is golf. I love playing golf. I mean, I sneak out for 9 holes with my brother more often than not when I'm at home. I love playing with my grandfather and my dad and all the members. It's something that I thoroughly enjoy, and I look forward to keeping that love and passion for the game for many years to come.
And he is surely going to stay in the spotlight for many years to come. Brandon Stone is no Norman Woods.